Thank you. Welcome once again to the 116th meeting of BKC Fireflies. For those of you who are attending BKC meetings for the first time, we are a small club. We were incorporated sometime in 2019. And in these 4 years, we've done something really scorching. We've produced multiple district champions. We've had finalists coming in literally at every single level of the division contest or the district contest. And we hope to produce a world champion in public speaking from this very club sometime in the next 3 years. Watch this space. As a SAR today, it's my duty to announce the mission statement of Toastmasters. The mission statement of Toastmasters is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater confidence and personal growth. We also have a club mission statement. The mission of BKC Fireflies Toastmasters Club is to create an area where all our members and our guests come to learn a little or laugh a little. And no matter what, whether you learn a little, laugh a little, learn a lot, or learn a lot, laugh a lot, or learn a little, laugh a little, whichever way you look at it, we're sure that we'll have a great time. As the SAR, let me also lay down the rules of today's meeting. Please keep your microphones on mute. And if possible, keep your cameras on, your videos on. We'd like to see whom you're speaking to. In case you're moving around, please keep your cameras off, the video off, so that you're not disturbing any of the speakers. Please avoid crosstalk. Crosstalk would be the Zoom chats. Please do not do the chat with everyone unless it's being asked of you. You are free to talk about literally everything under the sun, but we would urge you to be a little cautious when you talk about politics, sex, and religion. Please try to stay off these topics. This meeting is obviously being recorded. It shall be uploaded onto Zoom, onto YouTube. In case you have any problems with your video being public, please let us know and we'll do the needful. On that note, let me also inform you that we meet on the first, third, and fifth Thursdays, the odd Thursdays, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., 8:15 p.m. We're an online club as of now. We may not be an online club very soon, but you never know. We're not making any promises on that or not saying anything. I'm not confirming or denying anything at all. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. If I'm missing anything, a presiding officer side would be bashing me up and announcing that. On that note, let me introduce the presiding officer as well as the TMOD of today, the Toastmaster of the day. None other than the person who never stays silent because he's Sai Ramachandran. He is an entrepreneur. He's a logophile. He's a champion word gamer. And he's got a lovely way of talking, which you'll be soon hearing. Over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
I'm not sure if people want to hear me speak because right before the meeting started, I was told that I was chattering too much and people were happy that I didn't have a lot to say. Is that right, Joanne? Can I take you seriously on this, or was it a joke? I'm hoping it's a joke.
I think you actually took it like totally in the opposite direction of what I meant. I meant, why were you silent? I wanted to hear you.
Oh
my God! You took
hurt
it.
Feelings have been unheard. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Joanne. I really appreciate the fact that you make sure that I understood what you were saying, and that's
absolutely
the Toastmasters.
Otherwise, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I said otherwise it would be like the worst thing ever, right? Like being a Toastmaster, I couldn't even communicate my basic feelings. At Sai, please talk. I'm eager to listen.
And I didn't get a sandwich either. I will take only the areas of improvement from what I understood, at least only the areas of improvements. Speak less, keep quiet more. But no, I was wrong. There was a hidden message. The message was, please do speak more. But speaking of that, this is a Toastmasters meeting, and it would be remiss on my part if I didn't get to speak to all the people who've been coming here multiple times, or people who've come here for the first time. Let's start with Anushri. Oh yeah, before I do that, people who have roles in the meeting, which is basically everyone, please do edit your name to include the role that you're performing today, so I can make sure that I call the right person for the right role and things like that. Anushri, can I please spotlight you and ask you what brought you to this meeting? What made you want to come to our meeting and participate in whatever capacity you're participating?
First of all, like I had heard about your club through one of my club members, as she has been a regular participant in your meeting. And second was like you had come to one of our club meetings as an evaluator. And your name has been actually, you can say, you're quite popular. Like Toastmaster Arvind is like, takes your name regularly. So if he takes your name, he's like, okay, the club is this popular.
Wow.
So that was one of my reasons. Okay, so when I saw like there is an role that is taken, I said, let me try today. You know?
Oh, that's very nice. And thank you so much for, first of all, making the effort and taking the pains of taking up a role with us. And I also appreciate the fact that, and I love attending BTM meetings. So it goes both ways. It's been a synergy. BTM has been a big supporter of BKC Fireflies from day one. I think, I'm sure I've said this a multiple times. I'll keep saying it till I stop being a Toastmaster. I get Alzheimer's and dementia, forget about Toastmasters. BTM is the reason, BTM and of course, Hardik, who was also our club member, Pratibha from BTM and Hardik. You guys are the reason why BKC Fireflies even survived the first year, because many clubs don't survive the first year of chartering, and we survived because of stalwarts from your club. Arvind was there, Sunil, there are a few other people who were, I forget what they call themselves, a Pancham gang or something, the people who love short marathons. They've all been instrumental in guiding us and being the North Pole for our club to understand how a good meeting is conducted, who are the good people and what to do and what not to do. Those things we learn from you. So I'm very, very grateful for BTM for all they've done for us. And we're happy to have you, of course.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let me quickly drop you off spotlight. And Priscilla, I'm going to call you up for 2 seconds to tell us a little bit about South Africa right now.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here again. Thank you for accepting me. It's a very cold South Africa. We're experiencing winter right now. I'm in the province of Durban. I'm in the city of Durban. It's a coastal city, and it's the city that holds the most Indians in South Africa. It's also the city where the ships docked with the first Indians. Invite you all to come one day.
We'll definitely attend at least a Toastmasters meeting with you. Do you have a Toastmasters club that you attend in Durban? We'd love to join you for one of those meetings.
Yes, that's a plan. We can do that.
All right, let's do that. Let's start with meeting you in Durban virtually, and then we'll proceed to the actual physical.
Absolutely.
You're finding it tough to find a meeting spot in Mumbai. Maybe Durban will be a lucky. Maybe Durban is a more welcoming place than Mumbai and its real estate places. Thank you so much, Priscilla. We're always happy to have you. And your accent is so amazing and lovely to listen to. I keep thinking, when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of cricket when I was growing up. Now I read a lot of cricket on ESPN Cricket. But when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of cricket. And the South African commentators were my absolute favorite. I mean, their accent sounds good. They sound so crisp. You wake them up in the middle of the night or early in the morning. It's an early morning game. You can listen to them. They always sound like music to the ears. And you're carrying on the tradition of sounding really nice on with the way you speak. All right, let's see. I think Saurabh is going to be speaking, so let's not burden him too. It's not Saurabh, I meant Sunil. Sorry, Sunil. I meant you and not Saurabh. Let's quickly get Joane. Are you in a position to talk to us? Are your videos off? Everything's off, so I don't know. Let me add you to the spotlight.
Yeah.
There you are. So tell us 3 things that happened to you this week that has never happened to you before.
Oh God, nothing has happened to me this week. That has never happened to me before.
That's not true. I can prove to you that there are things that have happened to you that have never happened to you before.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. I took the VP education role of my club this year. So obviously there are 3 things that I've done as a VP education, like writing messages, forming a new committee, forming new role players list, etc. So yeah, those are 3 things related to the VPH.
Have you ever experienced July 6th, 2023 before? You have not. Have you experienced July 5th to 2023 before? You have not. So you've been experiencing a new life every minute of your existence. Like I said, till dementia or Alzheimer's or our time on earth is ending, we're going to be experiencing new things. And this is one of those things. This day that we're living in, this enjoyable, lovely day that we experience together. That's the day we're in. And thank you so much for joining us once again. And I am going to now move on to the second part of my role, which is as the presiding officer for the meeting. Let me make sure that everybody's roles have been added. Sunil, if you could mark yourself as speaker one, I know there's only one speaker, but if you could mark yourself as speaker one, that'd be nice. All right. My role as the presiding officer. Why is it that I'm the presiding officer of the meeting? Though my, sorry, I keep getting the posters wrong. Though my poster says VP Public Relations. That's because, unfortunately or fortunately, I've been asked, or I've been voluntold, as they say sometimes. I've been volunteered from behind to be the president of this club, and it's my privilege and honor to come back in this role. I was the chartering president of the club. After all those years, I'm back in the hot seat, and that's why I'm the presiding officer. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to introduce our very amazing XCOM team, people who've taken up the mantle of taking this club to the next level. And we're starting from a small base, but you're starting from a base of very, very high achieving members. We have people like Gio, we have people like Pranav, we have people like Cyril, we have people like Sandhya, we have people who have achieved great things in the Toastmasters domain. We have been a President's Distinguished Club multiple times, though this year we missed out because our head count was, club membership count was a little low, but we missed out for that reason. Other than that, we've done great things, and this XCOM has been asked to carry the torch forward. And let me start by introducing the secretary of the club, Toastmaster Saurabh, and I'm going to ask him to maybe introduce himself in a couple of sentences and tell us what has happened with him since he joined BKC Fireflies. Saurabh, over to you. I can't, Saurabh, I can't hear you, unfortunately. No, still gone.
Hello.
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay. Hi. Thank you so much, Toastmaster, today for introducing me. And so my name is Saurabh. I've been recently appointed as the secretary of the executive committee of BKC Fireflies. Just a short introduction. I am a restaurateur. I have my cafe in Mumbai, and I am also a coach. I help men to become a better version of themselves. I'm also a keynote speaker. So that is about me. And I joined BKC Fireflies last year, 2022. And there has been, I would say, the way I have seen my journey, there's been a lot of transformation because my communication has been improved thanks to all the amazing members of BKC Fireflies and their support who have guided me throughout my pathway. So it's been an amazing journey, and there is a huge self-improvement in the form of communication, speaking. So I look forward to a better year ahead with a lot of good things happening coming up, and the club getting more members. That's it from me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very, 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 very much. That those veries were because I was looking for the right menu option to click. So the longer I pull something on, it's because I'm looking for a menu option, because I'm also double handing as the Zoom master. Yes, so Toastmaster Saurabh has been a very, very valuable member of our club. We've seen him grow. And last week, meeting number 115 was headed by Toastmaster Saurabh. And we were all shocked in a good way. I mean, we were positively surprised with how confidently and how well he managed his role as the Toastmaster of the day. It didn't show at all that he was doing it for the first time. And that's what we want to see in our members. We want to see growth. We want to see them take leadership roles. We want to see them own their own Toastmasters journey and story, so that when they go out into the world, they are positive role models for others to look up to. They're also flag bearers for us. What we do on a monthly, or bi-weekly basis in BKC Fireflies shows in how members carry themselves out in the world. And in Toastmaster Saurabh's case, I'm hoping that we've been able to help him in a little way, but more importantly, he's given us so much back. He's given us a wealth of knowledge on what his children teach him and how he deals with difficult situations as a man. He's a keynote speaker. That's another great way where Toastmaster Saurabh can add value to your clubs. Please do invite him if your club needs a keynote speaker on topics which are not always commonly discussed, like the male ego and how men should behave in the real world. I think those topics are important, and I think Toastmaster Saurabh is doing a great job bringing all those things to light. I think that's what his big contribution to the Toastmaster story is, that it's not just standard, I'm just going to give a speech because I want to get ahead in my career. He's adding clarity to how men carry themselves in the world. I think for that, he deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saurabh. I'm going to jump really quickly to a man who everybody says needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Oh, did I get the wrong person? I'm so sorry, Sunil. I meant to introduce Cyril because he is
I'm sure you did that intentionally, son.
I did this, the screens. Did you turn off your video while I was saying I'm going to pinpoint you? Because that's the only reason why the videos would have shifted. Anyway, this is Toastmaster Cyril, who's going to be our VP of membership. Cyril, one or two sentences on yourself.
Quickly, former finance professional, currently on a sabbatical, and as Sai says, the sabbatical just doesn't seem to end. I'm a voiceover artist. I record for audiobooks, advertisements, and all sort of stuff. I'm enjoying myself. It's a different form of stress. Recently blessed with a baby boy, so I have 2 kids too. My wife said there are 3 kids in the home. I spend time attending Toastmaster meetings and recording my stuff. That's it. Back to you, Sai. I'm the VP membership, by the way. So it's on me to ensure that the number of Zoom windows that you're seeing over here increases as these meetings continue. Back to you, Sai.
I'm so sorry I interrupted you. Yes, did I? Okay, I'm not mute. Toastmaster Cyril is also one of those people who have shown who he is out in the world. He joined us at Toastmasters, and from day one, we've always admired the way he carried himself. He's got great poise. He's a great speaker. He's impeccably dressed. And if you see him now and he's wearing jeans or whatever, it's one thing. But to see him in his private equity avatar, when he walked into that club meeting the first time, wearing a suit, wearing trousers and a shirt which actually fit him perfectly, he was a sight to see. And he gave a speech standing, dressed like that. And my wife and I were like, dude, this guy is going to go places. And he has gone places like Ahmedabad, places like even within Mumbai. He's the district winner in the humorous speech contest in District 98. He's a district champion in the ISC, International Speech Contest. So he's gone places and he's taken us with him. He's taken BKC Fireflies with him. He has friends in places you wouldn't imagine have a Toastmasters club, because he's been such a supporter of other clubs in whatever roles they need him in. He's led education sessions. He's led panel discussions. He's led workshops. If you're part of Toastmasters and you don't know Cyril, that means you're not part of District 98. That's the only thing I can say. Cyril is everywhere, and he's always a positive influence wherever he goes. And we're very happy to have him as VP of membership. We're hoping that, like he said, the number of tiles you see on screen increases and our pressure on him to add more members decreases. But I'm pretty confident that Toastmasters Cyril, like he does everything else, he's going to do a great job as the VP of membership. So I'm going to stop here and hold the VP of education for later. VP of PR is missing. She's away in Canada. I'm going to hold a couple of roles for later and take a step back and get back to the flow of the meeting, which is the actual speaking and evaluations and all those things that we have. We should not take a backseat. Club business will keep happening, but the real reason we're here is to learn and speak and get better at those things. The Toastmasters meeting is 3 parts. Like, it's the trifecta of public speaking. There is public speaking itself. There is impromptu public speaking, where you don't know what you're going to say, but you have to say it anyway. And finally, there's evaluations, where you get feedback on how you did, what could have been done better, the sandwich, like they say. And I'm going to start by talking about the first part, which is prepared speeches. We have 1 prepared speaker today, and that doesn't matter if you're 1 speaker or 10. The number of role players stays pretty much unchanged. And the role players who are supporting that speaker are the grammarian, who happens to be the woman from South Africa. So Priscilla, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you plan to do in the role of the grammarian, that'd be wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai. As the grammarian for today, I will be carefully observing the language used during the meeting. I will also be taking note of word choices used, pronunciation, sentence structure, good phrases, and also not so good phrases, not so good words. I'll be making a note of all of those. I will be observing improper language used and also exceptionally skillful use of language. I'm also responsible to introduce the word of the day for today. And the word of the day for today, my word of the day for today is euphoria. Euphoria is a noun, and it is the meaning of euphoria is a feeling or state of intense excitement or happiness. An example of the use of euphoria: the euphoria of passing my final exam is a feeling I will never ever be able to forget. Thank you so much for that. Back to you, Mr. TMOD of the day.
Thank you so very much, Priscilla. It makes me euphoric to see words like euphoria and words which are so evocative and so brilliantly structured be introduced into our bloodstream as Toastmasters. Let us move to our R counter, Anushri, to explain to us what she plans to do as the R counter. Anushri?
Good evening to all the Toastmasters. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, such as including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and earth. I'll also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker has used these expressions. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so very much, Anushri. Let us move to our double hatting timer, Toastmaster Cyril, who's going to probably use some technology to explain how he's going to do his job. Cyril, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. At BKC Fireflies, we pride ourselves on the excellent meetings that we conduct. And one of the things that drives an excellent meeting is to ensure that the meeting moves as per the agenda. Every single segment of a Toastmaster meeting has got a certain time guidance attached, whether it's prepared speeches, extempore speeches, or even evaluations. And today I play the role as your traffic cop when it comes to time. I shall be displaying time signals. I shall be showing the counter, the timer on my screen, and I shall be displaying timing signals, green, yellow, and red, showing that as you progress from your qualifying time, your warning time, and your absolutely out of time, your danger time. I shall be presenting my timer report whenever called upon by the gentle evaluator. Back to you, Toastmasters Sai.
Before I take back the control of the meeting, can I quickly ask you how you plan to share can you do a demo of that?
Right. Toastmaster Sunil, I can either share my screen, which means you'll be in a small corner and the screen will have the timer running, or else I can present this. Just give me 1 second.
So will Sunil have to pin you as the speaker?
Do you see that in my window? Can you make up the time?
Yes.
So either we can split the screen, spotlight both of us. Up to Sunil, whichever way that you prefer.
Will it turn to red once the time changes?
It will not. It will not. It will not.
In whatever is comfortable. There's no competition, it seems.
Whatever is comfortable to you.
But if it's a countdown, how will you know if he's gone beyond 7:30? Will he start at
count up?
7:30?
Yeah.
Let us switch to the count up.
This way.
Oh, there you go. All right. Sunil, which would you prefer? Split screen, or do you want to pin Cyril? How do you want to do it?
Whatever, split screen would be preferred.
All right. So let me do this. So I'm going to take back the meeting, knowing that split screen is the way we're going to go. All right. We are on the cusp of hearing our first speaker for the evening, first and only speaker for the evening. But before that, we need to figure out how we're going to help our speaker get better. Though he might be a great speaker to begin with, how to get better. And to do that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
When you put me in, I have logged in from 2 devices.
All right. So what would you want me to do?
The one with speaker 1, which says speaker 1, you put me on in that when I start my speech.
So that's the one I should be highlighting.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Understood. So we're going to get 2 speakers for the cost of 1. There's going to be 2 Sunils, but only one of them is going to be spotlighted. Jokes apart, We have an evaluator who's going to tell us how exactly she plans to make the sandwich that she's going to stuff into Toastmaster speaker Sunil's mouth, into Toastmaster Sunil's mouth. Joanna, over to you.
Thank you, Sai. First of all, it's Joanne, not Joanna. Like everybody calls me Joanna for some reason, I don't know why. But thank you so much. My target speaker for the day, Sunil, is attempting his level 3 project 3 from the path Persuasive Influence. The project purpose of this speech is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Timer, please note it's 5 to 7 minutes, the speech time. All the best to you, Sunil. Thank you. Back to you, TMOD.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm going to look for speaker 1. The video is not turned on. And I don't see Sunil anymore.
Okay, am I audible?
You are audible, yes. Where is the video on this?
Sunil, we lost your video. Okay, there you are.
All right, so let me.
I hope I'm audible. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are. Yes, you are. And split screen. So let me get Cyril into the mix as well. Cyril, all set? Neuromarketing is Hokum. Is it? Sorry, let me do it the correct way. Toastmaster Sunil, neuromarketing is Hokum. Is it? Neuromarketing is Hokum. Is it? Toastmaster Sunil.
So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and all the wonderful guests. It really feels euphoric to stand before BKC Fireflies, the champions. So let me quickly see how many of you are here from marketing. Well, not many. Yeah, but I am sure we all are persuaders in life. Someone somewhere is persuading something in life, and that makes us all marketers, right? So my topic today is neuromarketing is Hokum. Is it? Yes or no? Well, let's look at it. Patrick Renvois, a pioneer and author in the field of neuromarketing, said that neuromarketing is the future of marketing. And it's the only way to truly understand how people make decisions. As I delve upon today's topic, I must confess that I'm compelled to share something with you that might come as a surprise. My son owns a fleet of cars and is just 12 years old. Surprised? Well, don't be. I'm talking about toy cars here. Let me take you back to a time when my son was just 6 years old and he had a fascination with toy cars. Whenever we went grocery shopping, strategically placed at the billing counter would be a shimmering red toy car. Unable to resist the temptation, my son would plead for it, leaving me with a hole in my pocket. Little did I know then that these meticulously placed toys were there to tap his subconscious desires, leveraging the principles of neuromarketing. Fast forward to present, and my son, now 12 years old, came rushing to me last night with an Amazon cart, insisting me to quickly order an Avengers t-shirt, as it claimed to have only 2 left in stock. Obliging to his request, I settled on the sofa to mindlessly watch Netflix, which to my surprise suggested my favorite movie genre. Incidences like this reminds me of the countless stimuli that bombard us every day, influencing our decision-making process. Martin Lindstrom, a branding consultant for Fortune 500 companies, said, "We are all human beings. Our brains are wired in a way to respond to certain stimuli in certain ways. And neuromarketing is simply the study of how the stimuli affect our brain and ultimately our behavior. Over the past 15 years, working as a business manager for GE Healthcare, a Fortune 500 and Forbes Top 30 organization, I have gained extensive experience in the art of persuasion. You can call me a professional persuader. My role involves curating choices and helping the customer make the right decision. When I first ventured into the field of neuromarketing, I was filled with doubt and uncertainty. However, over the years, I have seen the transformative effects of neuromarketing in my business, leading me to confidently affirm its effectiveness. While some may still feel that neuromarketing is Hokum, it is not. I would like to name a new acronym today. It's KYCBB, Knowing Your Customers Buy Button. I can attest to its effectiveness based on my personal experience and the success stories of some major corporations. Some of the world's biggest companies have embraced neuromarketing to a great effect. Coca-Cola discovered that featuring ads that feature happy faces generate positive emotions in consumers, resulting in increased sales. Amazon identified that specific colors and layouts that capture attention prompts purchases. Netflix analyzes eye data and physiological data to cater to your interests. So there are numerous applications of neuromarketing. Neuromarketing is simply KYCBB, Knowing Your Customers Buy Button. One particular example is Bud Light's Up for Whatever Super Bowl ad campaign. The ad triggered positive emotions like amusement, surprise, excitement, thereby increasing viewer engagement, influence. Even after the Super Bowl week, the Bud Light witnessed 10% significant increase in sales. With over 111 million views, the ad became one of the most watched Super Bowl ad in history. So neuromarketing harnesses the power of neuroscience by employing various techniques like fMRI, EEG, eye movement to measure brain activity to marketing stimuli. These methods have been validated in other fields like neuroscience and psychology, lending credibility to the discipline. Neuromarketing capitalizes on various human behavioral traits such as priming, unity bias, FOMO, anchoring, and decision fatigue. Understanding of these mechanisms can help the marketers shape their marketing campaigns for optimal results. One study says that an average human being makes around 35,000 decisions daily. By simply reducing choices and making decision fatigue less, you can enhance the decision-making process and drive higher sales. In conclusion, I would say that neuromarketing is not Hokum, it's KYCBB, Knowing Your Customers Buy Button. It is a scientific approach to understanding how people make decisions. I would, based on my personal anecdotes and experiences in the business world, I would wholeheartedly recommend to embrace neuromarketing as a powerful tool to enhance your marketing strategies and tap into the subconscious desires of your target audience. So next time someone asks you and says neuromarketing is a Hokum, you know what you have to say. It's KYCBB, Know Your Customers Buy Button. Thank you.
That was eye-opening. I mean, stuff that never expect would come under the umbrella of neuromarketing was there. Like knowing my customers buy button. Yes. You know what they should have? Like there's some websites which are so hard to navigate. You should be like, know your customers back button. What causes them to hit back and go back to the previous page? That's the one thing I want to see. But thank you very much, Toastmaster Sunil, for a great speech, which was very enlightening to all of us. And for the people who don't know Sunil, he is a 15-year experienced professional in the field of sales and marketing in the healthcare sector. And his motto in life is interesting, and it's something that we should all aspire to embrace. Work hard, but party harder. And I think Toastmaster Sunil, his son is definitely living the dream. He's got multiple cars in his fleet, except they might be a little small, but it's a start. And eventually, I'm sure his son is going to have his own massive fleet of cars because his dad is going to help him acquire it with all the neuromarketing buzzwords techniques that he's going to teach him. With that, I'm going to call upon our timer of the day to tell us if Toastmaster Sunil kept to his time.
Indeed, Toastmaster Sunil took 7 minutes, 26 seconds. Wish he could have gone on for at least another 10 more minutes, but yes, lovely talk. Back to you.
Thank you.
Yes, great things come in small packages. I'm sure there's some neuromarketing idea behind keeping things crisp. And what is it? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I think that's what Toastmaster Sunil showed us. Keeping it simple. All right, so we're going to skip right ahead into the next interesting part of the meeting. But before I do that, can I please ask our grammarian to stick the word of the day into the chat? 2 people have used it so far. I'm hoping that all 8 of us can use the word of the day, and that'll be the first grand slam of the new year, of the new XCOM year, where all the speakers have used the word of the day. So the word of the day is euphoric. It'll make me euphoric. It'll give me euphoria. Whatever other forms of the word euphoria I can inject into that. Please try to use the word of the day. It's a great word. Euphoria. Yeah, euphoria is the word of the day. All right, so we're now going to move on to the next segment of the meeting, which is going to be interesting simply because of the person who's hosting it. That is table topics. And for that, I want to send it over to Toastmaster Cyril to double hat as the table topics master and the timer. Do you need some help with that, Cyril?
I'm good.
All right, Cyril, over to you.
One second. Toastmaster Cyril, I can be the timer if you like.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
I've got that app anyway, so it's okay. But yeah, go ahead. You can be the timer.
Okay. Toastmaster Sai, if you can help me share my screen, allow me to do that.
A share screen has been enabled for everyone.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Just 1 second. Let me just admit Sunil into the room. Today is supposed to be a very sad day for me because I got many condolence messages. Because Sunil, you need to mute one of you. Okay, there you go. Because as luck would have it, I didn't make it to the World Championship semi-finals. The results came out last night. But it's pretty much okay. I mean, it's one of those learning growth things that you go through. But I loved one message that someone sent me. Someone said that life is like a journey and it's like a trekking. How many of you do trekking here? Okay, I see one hand that's gone. All right. So someone compared it to the trekker's backpack. They carry everything in the backpack, right? They have their water bottles, they have their safety gear, they have their extra change of clothes, they have their first aid, everything. Someone compared the stuff that you have in your backpack to your fears. You carry your fears in your backpack. You carry that extra pair of clothes because you fear that you may need it. You carry that additional extra large first aid pack because you fear that you need it. They say that we carry our fears in our backpacks. And believe me, when I first walked into a Toastmasters meeting, my first meeting at BKC Fireflies, my fears were pretty much in my backpack, and they came out of my backpack when Sai gave me a table topics for the first time, speaking extempore. And I'm a private equity guy. I'm trained not to speak extempore. We have to stick to a certain dialogue. Otherwise, people will kind of, journalists will quote us in all sorts of, rather misquote us. But I encourage all of you to open your backpacks and go ahead and speak to your heart's content. I have the liberty to call people, but let me just ask for volunteers. Anyone wants to go up first? Okay. Anushri, I'll be doing the accounting when you speak. What's your date of birth? What's your birthday? When's your birthday?
16 June, 16 June, rather.
16 June, we just missed your birthday. I have a calendar here. It's full of quotes. So today's meeting shall be full of quotes. And let's see what 16th June says. The only way to be a friend is to be one. The only way to have a friend is to be one. The only way to have a friend is to be one.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Somewhere I do agree with this quote, but the definition of friendship is different for everyone. Like for some, a friend will always stand by them. You know, like they would not prefer telling their friends like when they're wrong. For some, it will be like telling them the truth, even if it hurts them, showing them the mirror. And for some, it is always being during the hard times, always to be heard. That means like I can just pick up the call, pick up the phone and call up. That is, I feel, the true form of friendship. I have always seen, I have always had friends like they might not wish me on my birthday, but then they'll always give me a call. What's up? How are you? I think this sentence, how are you, are your true friends, because at least they have the ear to listen to everything that goes on in your life and they'll hear you without any judgment. A friend as a person for me is hearing, or rather having you in your life without any judgment, accepting as you are. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nashri. Some very, very good thoughts. And yes, even I echo your thoughts. Next person, any volunteers? Any volunteers? Sunil raised a hand. Yes, Toastmaster Sunil. You're a marketeer, which means you meet a lot many people and you meet all sorts of people. The topic that I'd like you to address is the person that I've hated the most is dash. Fill in. And here's why. The person that I've hated the most is dash, and here is why. Over to you.
Okay. While you work in the field of marketing, you're full of creativity. You're full of desires to take your plan, to take your projections, and to take your plans ahead and to take your projections ahead. The worst thing in marketing is you need to get approvals. And you know what I'm talking about. The most person that I hate, that dash is filled up by my boss. Because whatever you say, whatever you plan, he will be there to find a lacuna in your plan. And then he will say that in the hindsight, this has never happened. And I say, if it would have happened, then there is no need of creativity in the marketing, because things that have not happened and people visualize that, dream that is called creativity. And that is what takes marketing to a next level. And I think this needs to be imbibed in each one of us as a creative person, or even as an individual who's doing their jobs in their domains. Probably never ever fear to take decisions out of criticism of your boss or the person that you hate. So be on your own, follow your dreams, and I'm sure you'll be successful. Over to you, Toastmaster Cyril.
Wow, that's like a great thought. The moment you said marketing and the person that you hate, most and you paused, I thought you'll say it's a legal team. Because no matter what, it's usually the legal team that comes up. We have all these wonderful, catchy slogans and everything. The legal team comes, the compliance team, the legal team, they come and say, no, you can't say that. It's violating this, your X, Y, Z. I've lived with compliance teams for a while and I've used some unparliamentary language, the way they've cut down my creativity a lot. The next person that I'd love to be creative is none other than our grammarian Toastmaster Priscilla, who's enjoying a calm winter in South Africa. I'm going to give you a storytelling topic. And just like any great story starts, your first line is, it was a dark and rainy night. It was a dark and rainy night. Toastmaster Priscilla.
Thank you so much. It was a dark and rainy night. The thunder bolted across the sky. Lightning pelted across. I took cover, afraid of it, that it may hit me. I was driving at the time. Fortunately for me, ahead I could see a tunnel. But as I came nearer to the tunnel, the road was closed. It was raining and it was so stormy. I had to take the next exit, and off I went to the next exit. To my amazement, I found a little garage there. So I pulled into the garage and took cover for some time. But I couldn't be there all the time because I was alone, driving alone, and I couldn't just park there all the time. So I gathered up my courage, mustered up my courage, and took off again. Prayed to the good Lord and said, fine, I'm now brave and I'm going ahead. I drove for about 20 kilometers, and to my amazement, I looked at the sky and the darkness seemed to disappear. There was a beautiful rainbow. The rain ended on that journey and we continued forward. The rainbow was so beautiful and the sky was bright and shiny. So not every dark and thunderous night ends in dismay. I'd like to leave you with that thought and leave you with a little bit of positivity for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Priscilla. You started the Alfred Hitchcock way, you pivoted, and you went the Karan Johar way. That's amazing. Awesome. I'd like to call Toastmaster Sandhya, our timer. Sandhya, I'll do the timing. No worries, I've got, let me try with that. Would you like to take a topic? Or you're going to be my next speaker, Toastmaster Saurabh. We haven't heard you speak, so let me catch you. Would you be able to take a topic? Quick audio video check, Toastmaster Saurabh. You're frozen on my screen. Okay, technical issues. It's back to you, Toastmaster Sandhya. But Saurabh,
can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
You will love this topic. Your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. Your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. Over to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril. I totally agree with this, because let me tell you a small story behind this. I used to travel as an international. Okay, should I wait or should I start?
Sandhya, I've got this.
Okay, so I'll tell you a small story behind this. I was an international sales manager and I was traveling around the world. I used to visit various cafes, and I always thought that, me being foodie, I wanted to open up my own cafe. And that was my passion. But this thing went on from 2011, 2010, and I took up this courage to speak to my father about it, that yes, I want to do it. And a lot of people, including my father, turned down this idea, thinking that it's not easy to, get into hotel business. Of course, it was difficult. And in 2019, just before the COVID, me and a friend of mine who also a childhood friend had a similar passion, we decided to take a step forward with whatever savings we have and let's go with it. The loss will be ours, the win will be ours, the success will be ours, the failures will be ours. We'll own up to it. And that is when in 2020, we started our cafe. And that was my passion turned into business. So I say to all the passion trainers or all the people who have passion, it takes a lot of courage to follow your passion, but take the first step. The first step is your courage, and then there is only success. So I truly believe that passion takes courage, and let me tell you, it definitely gives you a good result if you own up to it and if you are dedicated to it. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Some lovely thoughts being shared there. And one of the greatest things that I heard, I mean, I followed a similar journey. I decided to chase my passion. One of the greatest one-liners that I heard was by Paulo Coelho. He said, impossible is just an opinion, right? Just do it. Toastmaster Sandhya, can we have you as the next speaker? And while Toastmaster Sandhya answers, Toastmaster Joane, in case you're done with your evaluation, you're going to be the next one. Awesome. Wow, we're in for a treat, the next two speakers. Toastmaster Sandhya, the topic for you is simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Over to you. I shall time you. No worries about it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril. Well, all of us have heard the saying, simple living, high thinking. What does that really mean? That means that living simple is important, but thinking high is important. And that can be also thought of as simplicity being nothing but sophistication. Now, when we talk of simplicity, what does that really mean? Does it mean that coming across as simple, that is, let's say, wearing simple clothes? Does it mean speaking in a certain way? For example, speaking, using very simple words to speak. Now, some of us might look down upon this. We usually have a tendency to look up to a certain person who uses language that might be actually difficult to understand. But just because the person is using big words, we tend to think that this person is a great speaker. The point here being is that we need to understand what the person is speaking and not the sort of words that the person is using. And that is what we mean that simplicity is important in such a case. Let's take a second example, the case of, let's say, dressing up, the way we dress up. Mahatma Gandhi wore very simple clothes, and he, I think, is the ultimate paragon of simple living but high thinking. All of us know what he fought for, all of us know what he gave India and the world. Always dressed in very simple clothes. So next time that we look at a person who is dressed very well in suit and boot, should we attribute that person as coming off as extremely sophisticated? Maybe not. Maybe that person is actually not sophisticated because the person's thinking is probably not sophisticated. Just because a person is dressed very well, just because a person uses specific words or vocabulary, whether we understand or not understand it, does not mean that somebody is sophisticated. Simplicity, many a times, can be sophistication. Because the ultimate goal for us is to come across to the other person, to the person we are speaking to the people we are interacting with, as somebody who has a message, as somebody who can help them. And that is why simplicity is important, even though it may not come across as sophistication. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya. Wow, a point really well made. All right, Toastmaster Joane. Just for the record, this is a topic that I'd given once to Toastmaster Sai once, and I'm giving it to you just because I'm confident that You're the only person who can take it to the heights that no one can take it to the heights that you do. The
Too
topic
much
is,
pressure.
no, not at all, not at all. Feel free to do exactly what you did at the district finals. Just let your imagination fly. Rakesh, Rashid, and Joane. Rakesh, Rashid, and Joane, whenever you're in. There's a Hindu name, there's a Christian name, there's a Muslim name in case you want an additional direction.
Rakesh, Rashid, and Joane. You know, like all I can think of is Amar Akbar Antony. That is like what happens when you listen to this Rakesh, Rashid, and Joane. I wish the table topping master had used one female name instead of Rashid, maybe Rashida. Why not? Like right now, I know I need to talk maybe about religion, but I want to talk more about the gender politics that happens here. Even in names, why Rakesh and Rashid? I know you took Joanne because my name is Joanne. Why not Rakesh and Rashida? Okay, so that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear Rakesh, Rashid. Second point that comes to my mind when I hear this topic is, why Rakesh, Rashid, and Joanne, man? Why not Cyril, Joanne, and Sebastian? And why not Rakesh, Sai, and Sunil? The problem that we have here, is something that how simply words are now associated with religion. Words are now associated with gender. Colors are associated with religion. Yesterday, I was making a poster and I used the color orange and somebody said, don't do that. You will be associated with BJP. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And then they asked me, what is your favorite color? I said, my favorite color is green. You know, the green that you see in nature. That's my favorite color. Then they said, no, we can't use green. You'll be associated with Muslims and Pakistanis. I said, then what color are you going to use? White? No, not white. White is too peaceful. It's not impactful. Then I was like, okay, let's use black. Right? No, but black is bad luck. Black is a symbol of bad luck. And I was like, okay, tell me a color palette. He said, let's use magenta because people don't know the color magenta. So they've yet not associated that color with any religion, name, bad luck, good luck. So yeah, magenta is one color remaining that we can use safely without people coming and, grouping you or politicizing it. The same happens with names. Whenever people hear the name Joanne, they have a perception in their head. Christian, probably Goan, probably too modern, probably drinker, smoker, God knows what else. And whenever you listen to the name Rashid, another perception. Probably, jihadi, probably someone who has a lot of, violence in it. So whatever names you use, whatever colors you use, remember one thing. This is not your identity. The end goal is stop judging on any basis with name, color, anything, right? Wait, let yourself, give your chance to know the person, give yourself the chance to know the, event that's happening, and then judge. Don't judge the book by the cover, the color, or name. Thank you, and over to you.
Wow. Just when you thought that she couldn't top it up, she topped it up with a great one-liner. Don't judge a book by its cover, color, or name is what he said, right? A great wordplay there. I'm sure it came up on the fly, but that's really wonderful. I think we are running out of time. 7:32 is when the GE comes on. That leaves me with one topic. Sai, in case you'd like to take it up. Otherwise, would you like to take up a topic?
Sure, why not?
Funny topic?
Surprise me.
Okay. They say money talks, but all mind says is goodbye. They say money talks, but all mind ever says is goodbye. What do you say?
I have an uncle. He was reputed in the family as being a charming person, great talker, all those things. But the one time I went to meet him, my mom asked me to go meet him and spend some time with him. He's getting on in age. He's going to be a fun conversation. He's great. Because according to her, money talks and he talks a lot and you're going to have a great time. But I go there and all I heard from him was not entertaining at all. He kept telling me about how sick he is, how terrible life has been to him, and how he's ready to say goodbye, all those things. And it felt like the afternoon that I set aside for this visit was not going to go the way I wanted it to go. I was expecting it to go. And then it struck me that money, Uncle Money to me, money to the rest of you, was a lonely old man sitting by himself in his apartment. Life had passed him by. And all he really wanted was to be heard. And I was the ear into which all his conversation that had been pent up inside him, because nobody had met him in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few years. People had forgotten that he existed. All that was stuck within him was pouring out into me. I was the receptacle for his lack of human contact from the time he ceased to be a young Money, a charming Money, and a person who was with the life of the party. All those things had ended for him, and he was just now an old man waiting to say goodbye. And that realization made me realize that it's going to happen to all of us. And it's on us as people to reach out to the lonely, the alone, the people we see shuffling about by themselves. Reach out to them and let them know that we're there for them, that we care, that they are in our midst. They are our neighbors, they are our friends, they are the elderly in our family, they're the people who we might seem to have forgotten, but we should not. We should keep them in our hearts and our minds and let them know that Money, you can talk to me. It's not yet time for you to say goodbye, because your stories are still worth listening to. Back to you, Tabletop Master. And Money that day did talk, and I wasn't ready to say goodbye.
That was amazing. That's how you take a topic and turn it on your head and give it back to the Tabletop Master. I didn't catch that Money was your uncle's name until you said it the next time. And that was a brilliant take, Sai. This is how you weave magic with your words. That's probably, I think the polling guys will have a really tough time. The audience will have a really tough time, because I think every single speech had its brilliant highlights. On that note, that brings an end to my turn as a Tabletop Master. Let me call upon the timer for a quick time check. How long each speaker took.
Yes, Toastmaster Anushri took 1 minute 39 seconds. Sunil took 1 minute 40 seconds. Priscilla took 1 minute 49 seconds. Saurabh 1 minute 40 seconds. Joane, unfortunately, 2 minutes 45 seconds. I loved your speech, but unfortunately, you're disqualified. Toastmaster Sai took 2 minutes 20 seconds, and Toastmaster Cyril, you can announce my time.
Sandhya took 2 minutes 32 seconds. Some lovely speeches there, but extending the time. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandhya. And over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Sai Ramchandran.
Thank you very much for a table topic session, which was euphoria inducing. Friendly reminder, if you have an opportunity to speak between now and the end of the meeting, the word of the day for you to use is euphoria. And our grammarian is listening with a keen ear. And it'll make her euphoric if you can use the word of the day. Let's move on to breakfast, because the standard line in Toastmasters is feedback is the breakfast of champions. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's get to breakfast. If it's champagne, we'll have champagne. If it's breakfast, we'll have breakfast. I'm going to call up the general evaluator to take us through to the evaluation section of the meeting. Toastmaster Sandhya, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai, and a very good evening again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the general evaluator, my job is to introduce the evaluator, the speech evaluator for the prepared speech that we had today, and also call upon the tag team players to announce their reports. At the end of the evaluation segment, I will also be giving feedback on the meeting in general. So before we get to that, I would like to call upon Joane, the speech evaluator for our prepared speech. But before I call upon Joane, I would like to call the timer, Toastmaster Cyril, to give the timing guidelines for the evaluation. Toastmaster Cyril.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, my apologies. The evaluation segment, Toastmaster Joane, you have 2 to 3 minutes. You have 30 seconds of grace time on the other side. I shall be displaying the time right up here whenever you're ready to start. Back to you, General Evaluator Sandhya.
Thank you, timer. Toastmaster Joane, over to you.
General Evaluator, audit, right? Hi, Sunil. How did you feel you gave the, what do you say, speech? What do you think about it? First, tell me that.
Yeah, it was a research topic and very much close to what I've been trying in my profession. So
yeah, I'll be filling that soon now. That's my job, right? As an evaluator. Thank you, Sunil. First of all, Sunil, let me tell you, your project, what do you say, purpose was to give a well-researched speech, and you have accomplished that. The speech was very well researched. And I'll tell you, when I heard examples like Coca-Cola, Amazon, Netflix, and obviously the KYC, DB, and all other aspects of your speech about neuromarketing and how you justified that neuromarketing is not a hookup with well-researched data, you have justified the project purpose. So congratulations to you for that. Like, because that's like the first thing that as an evaluator, I always look, have you succeeded? And you have. So congratulations. What I loved about your speech, Sunil, let me tell you, you have a very strong voice, something that speakers die for. You can be a great speaker, but people don't appreciate the quality of voice and how much that influences people. Even if you're not giving a good speech, if you have a voice like yours, very powerful, audience will always listen up. So that is something really important and really great, a talent, a skill that you have. And I would like you to work on that because it's an amazing voice that you have. I think the grammarian was euphoric, honestly, when you gave the speech, because you're like a word wizard. The vocabulary, the language, you're like strategically placed at billing counter. There's a shimmering red car. Then you use subconscious desires, leveraging, and all these words. Like oh God, I felt like I was not listening to a speech, but reading a speech because the vocabulary was amazing. So yeah, you made your grammarian and me euphoric. So congratulations for that. You have a natural body language. I think that comes with the fact that you are already 15 years, experienced speaker, because you didn't even think about it. I felt you were moving your hands, your body, your posture, your facial expressions naturally. So that delivery style is also something that you bring to the speech naturally. And again, great work, great facial expressions, great anecdotes. I really loved your speech. Now, what do you think can take this speech to the next level? The first thing is the opening. Even if it's a research speech, I wish you could give a very strong opening, a hook, something you can think about, because your speech is beautiful, but the opening was not punchy enough. You started with, my topic is neuromarketing. No need. You could have directly started with the quote, which you then introduce after telling the audience what your topic is. Don't waste your precious time giving the audience the topic again. Start with a quote, start with a controversial data maybe. That, like, this research speech had that opportunity, you could have put a controversial data, like, do you know Amazon, like, uses so-and-so to make you buy so-and-so things. Controversial data, that is like a great hook. People will be like on the edge of their seat. Okay, this guy's gonna say something great. Second thing that I want you to think about is your delivery style. It felt like you were reading the speech. Even if it's a research speech, I wish you could add more conversation style to it. Data is important. Okay, examples are important, but the style of conversation is much more, acceptable and much more comfortable for an audience than just reading out a speech or memorizing a speech and delivering it. So overall, it was a great, speech. You did, justify your project purpose. Think about great openings and think about the delivery style. Make it more conversational rather than just feeling as if you're reading or memorizing the speech. And then this speech can go to the next. Thank you, and back to you.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joane, for that evaluation. I'm sure our speaker, Sunil, had a lot of takeaways from it. I would now like to call upon the grammarian to see how euphoric she is about the performance of speakers in the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Priscilla.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. And yes, indeed, I am very, very euphoric. It was an absolute amazing meeting. I had very little bad usage of English. In fact, I didn't pick up any bad use of English enough to note to bring to this meeting. Awesome uses of words and phrases. I want to list a few so that we can just highlight it and we can take it forward and use it in our everyday talking and writing. Leverage, such a beautiful word, and we can use it so vastly. Strategically placed. Hindsight, beautifully used. Decision fatigue. I thought that was like so beautifully put together. Optimal results. Lending credibility. All these words were like, such beautiful use of English. The art of persuasion. This, doesn't only lend itself to marketing. It can lend itself to like anything and everything. Stimuli. Curating choices. Affirm its effectiveness. Harness the power of neuroscience or whatever. Harness the power of whatever. But it was used by our speaker where he said harness the power of neuroscience. Creativity. I love the KYCBB. Know your customers buy button. Imbibed, charming person, receptacle. All those were beautiful words. The use was beautifully used, strategically used. I loved it. I want to just highlight a few beautiful phrases that were used. Impossible is only an opinion. I think that's so beautiful. Simple living, high thinking. Awesome. Simply said. Don't judge a book by a cover, name, or color. Again, we can use this so many places. And of course, feedback is the breakfast of Toastmasters. So I think we want to take that, run with it. It was a beautiful meeting, and I am indeed euphoric. Again, the word of the day was used quite extensively by various people, our speaker, namely our TMOD of the Toastmaster of the day, and our table topics master. So yes, the word was nicely used. Thank you so much for that. And thank you again for giving me this opportunity. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Sandhya, your audio is muted.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much, Grammarian Toastmaster Priscilla. I would now like to quickly call upon our counter for the day, Toastmaster Anushri, to give us her report.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. Sunil, your speech was like one of the best that I've heard. The only filler that you used twice was the. Otherwise, no mistake, nothing was found. Then coming back to the table topics, I'm so sorry I didn't make a note of my filler. Sunil, you used or and as twice. Priscilla, like, you are really such a good speaker. There was so much to learn from you. Apart from a small pause, there were no fillers that were found. Saurav, a great speaker and a very good speaker, I must say. Sandhya, there was only one that you used in the middle. Otherwise, no errors. Joane and Sai, and no mistakes could ever be found. Thank you so much, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anushri, for that quick report. I would now like to call upon our timer for the day, Toastmaster Cyril, to tell us the time taken by the speech evaluator.
We love evaluations. It's unfortunate that Toastmaster Joane got only 3 minutes 40 seconds for an evaluation. It was a lovely evaluation. I'm sure that Toastmaster Sunil would love to hear more. 3 minutes 40 seconds is the time that evaluator Joane took. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril. It's now my time to give feedback on the meeting in general, but because we're running, I think, slightly behind time, I am going to make it really quick. I am extremely glad that this new XCOM has kept up the tradition of BKC Fireflies, and we again started exactly on time at 6:30 p.m. sharp, thanks to our Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Cyril. The Sergeant at Arms started off the meeting and then handed the mantle to Toastmaster Sai, who played the role of both the presiding officer and the Toastmaster of the day for today. Toastmaster Sai introduced the meeting very well. He made funny jokes, he made the mood of the meeting very light, and I think that was a great start for any meeting. There was, of course, no division between the presiding officer's role and the Toastmaster of the day's theme, but that's all right because he was playing both the roles. He then introduced the theme for the day, which was introducing the XCOM members, and he introduced 2 of the XCOM members. After that, we had the prepared speech by Toastmaster Sunil, which was again, I think, very well received and a great speech. And that went on to be evaluated by Toastmaster Joane. Toastmaster Joane, I loved your evaluation. I think you covered most aspects that had to be covered in Toastmaster Sunil's speech evaluation. There is just one thing that I would like to add to that. Toastmaster Sunil, this was a research-based speech, and given that the title of your speech was Neuromarketing is Hokum, is it? So there is a question there. Is it Hokum or not Hokum? I personally felt that most of your speech was focused on, yes, it is not Hokum. Right? So you focus more on the positives of the speech. And it's probably also because you come from a marketing field. So at least a small part of your speech could also be devoted to how some people might think that it is Hokum. And then you could have gone to telling us how it is not Hokum. So that is something that you could have possibly included in your speech. That would be my only one recommendation. But otherwise, I thought that it was a great speech. You are an excellent speaker. And Toastmaster Joane, you are also an excellent evaluator, but next time maybe just be a little mindful of the time that you take to give your speeches. Then we had the table topics session. Toastmaster Cyril, excellent choice of table topics. It took, I think, each of the speakers a little while to think of what the topic is. It was slightly challenging, but that was also fun. And especially given that this was a meeting with not too many participants, you were also able to include each and every one in the meeting room. You were also mindful that you included speakers like Toastmaster Saurabh that you knew were going to leave early, so you called him in earlier. So that was a quick thinking on your feet, and I think that was very well done. The only thing I think that could have been improved is in the table topic session, there were no timing guidelines given in the table topic session. So that is something that should be included before we start the table topic session. The time guidelines should have been announced. Another thing that we could have done better as the timer, both you and me jointly, is when the prepared speaker was about to start his speech, we were thinking of how should we be showing the timer. So I think that is something as a timer you can discuss and think about before the meeting. So this is how you're going to show the timing screen, rather than ask the speaker, how would you want the timer to be displayed, and then decide on the fly how the timing is to be shown. So that's one thing that we could possibly work on. Coming to the other two role players, the grammarian and the R-counter. Grammarian, Toastmaster Priscilla, I think it was a very good choice of the word of the day, euphoria. It's something that people can use. It's not it's not a word that's extremely difficult to be used in a sentence, and also not a word that we use on an everyday basis. So that's a very good choice of word, euphoria. Your report was also very comprehensive. You covered all aspects of the meeting. It came through your report that you were listening very carefully to every speaker. As a recommendation, what you could probably also do as the grammarian next time is also introduce a phrase of the day to make it slightly more challenging for the speakers and help them improve their vocabulary. Otherwise, I think great job as the grammarian. Coming to the R counter, Toastmaster Anushri. Again, a very comprehensive report. You were quick, keeping in mind of the time. You again noted the R's and ums of every speaker. One recommendation also for you is you could probably share your screen with a spreadsheet of the number of R's, ums, repeat words, etc. that people use, because when we see it visually, it's easier to register than when you're just listening to the report. So that's something you could consider, but of course, that's not necessary. Otherwise, I think your report was pretty much on the mark. Overall, I think the meeting went very well. The Toastmaster of the day was pretty lively, but what I was also hoping and expecting was that you interspersed the theme also in between the meeting. So you introduced some of your ex-com members at the beginning of the meeting, and then between the prepared section and the table topics, or between the table topics and the evaluation segment, there was no talk about the theme. So you could have probably introduced one presiding officer between the speech session and the table topics, and another one between the table topics and the evaluation segment. So you could have interspersed the theme like that throughout the meeting, rather than introducing all your officers right at the beginning. Other than that, I think a very pleasant Toastmaster of the day who keeps the meeting going and keeps it very lively. And that shows in you as a speaker, as a presiding officer as well. So overall, I think the meeting has gone on well. We have more or less kept on time. And with that note, I would like to now hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Cyril.
Thank you very, very much, everyone, for a meeting greatly conducted and a pleasant meeting to boot. I have one last task to do, which is actually two last tasks to do. One is to introduce the remaining XCOM members, and the second is to launch the polls. But I'm going to reverse the order. I'm going to launch the polls first, because that's the stuff that people like to do. And launch. There are not too many voters. Please go ahead, do your votes, cast your votes, and then we can move on to the next part, which is an introduction from our VP of Education. We will take we'll wait for the results to come in before we do that. And while that is happening, what can I tell you guys about? Because right now, I am watching I'm going to doctor the results. There's no way. Oh, we're 10 minutes behind. Oh my goodness. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, we have one more vote. 5 out of 5. Great. All right. So let me start with the primary role player. Our primary role player that the room thinks that the best job is Toastmaster Sandhya, who is our general evaluator. Let us add.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for a job well done. Replace spotlight back to me. The auxiliary role, that's a tough word to say. Grammarian, don't catch me. Because you, grammarian, are the best auxiliary role player for the evening. There you go. That was our choice as a room.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I'm sure you're euphoric at these results.
I am indeed.
All right. And the last vote that we requested people to cast was for the best table topic speaker, and Uncle Money came in a clutch. He was the reason why the room thought that I was the best table topic speaker for the evening. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure participating in your table topics contest. Not contest, but a segment. Now I'm going to ask the VP of Education to quickly, 2 sentences is all you get. Introduce yourself. Tell us what makes her her.
Yeah, I'm going to be very quick. I am euphoric to be the VP of Education, but I am. It's a very mixed feeling because I also know that the VP of Education has a lot of work to do. I know Priscilla here is probably still continues to be the VPE of the Millennials Club. Cyril, I'm actually getting into Cyril's shoes, and Cyril has done a wonderful job as the VPE. He was actually carrying BKC Fireflies on his shoulders right throughout the last 1 year. And I'm getting into his shoes, so I'm extremely nervous if I can do this job, but I also want to do it for the sake of the club, and I hope I do a good job as the VPE. That's all I have to say. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
You absolutely will. I have no doubt that you will not do a good job, because if you don't do a good job, I'll be right there reminding you of the job you're not done. Because like I keep telling everyone who doesn't know, she and I are 2 sides of the same coin. I don't know how to say it. We're married to each other. Anyway, my job as the president of the club is to make sure that the club doesn't have any reason, any excuse not to be the best club it can possibly be. We don't have any expectations of each other as a club, except that we want all our members to go to the next level, whatever level they're at, they reach the level that they want to be, and we want to be there to support them. Speaking of which, if you in your clubs have speakers who are looking for slots to speak in and want to get evaluated by people who are not familiar faces, because sometimes you fall into a rut because you're speaking to the same audience again and again and again. If you feel that your club members would benefit from coming to our club to give a speech, please do reach out to our VP of Education whom we just met, because we will definitely find a slot for you, because we love to listen to different voices, different styles, different stories. And that's what BKC Fireflies is famous for providing a platform to all sorts of speakers. You heard about neuromarketing. Would you have expected to hear about neuromarketing at the start of the speak? Did you even know the term neuromarketing existed? But we learned that from speaker Sunil at BKC Fireflies. And that's what we're famous for. We provide a great platform. We provide support, we provide help, and we want all of us to grow as champions. Without too much breakfasting, I hope. With that, I would like to call this meeting to a close, and we can use the rest of the time if we want to network and get to know each other better. I'm going to stop recording. Oh, did we miss any of the guests? We didn't. We spoke to all our guests, right? Cyril, give me a thumbs up.
Yes, we did.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to close the recording.